boy.
What's up, guys? How you doing? How you doing? Apologies to all of you. Apologies to you, Karl. It's just unfortunately when I'm on somebody's stream, I find it sometimes a bit rude to just say bye. So I couldn't say bye. I was like, you know what? I don't want to be rude. Uh, I'm going to talk about City, so I don't want to just leave. So apologies to you all, guys. I wrote a status on Twitter. I don't know if you saw it. I said we're gonna be a bit late. It's not over, Emmanuel. It's just started. Apologies to everybody. Big Morgan, apologies to you. Daniel, apologies to you. To everybody who's watching, apologies. Carl was about to start sleeping. He was getting tired of waiting. Don't forget to subscribe to Pitch Points as well. Yeah, guys, subscribe to Pitch Points. Everybody is happy. Yeah, well, we are happy today. Hey, how you doing, Martin? Lateness is greatness. Nah, lateness is not greatness, Daniel. Lateness is being late. This is going to be a great show. We are going to learn something. Yes, you're going to learn something. You can tell by the look in Carl's face and by the hat he's wearing. It's serious business. So it's going to be serious business. So okay, guys. So as I said, sorry for the delay, guys. It's not over. It's just started. Um, Cool. So let's just keep going. This Patrick always a busy man. Now, Chris, I was on the other on the other stream that you were in the comments. Barcelona blaming everyone but themselves. That's true. Wasn't it a 10? Yes, it was a Charlie. That's why I wrote a status on Twitter. So, Carl, how you doing? Sorry for the delay.
No worries, I understand. I completely understand.
Yeah, I should have just said bye. I think I should have just had the got to say bye. But sometimes some of these chats get interesting. But I was like, you know what?
What
Should I
was
just cut?
what was the gist? What were they saying after this weekend? I'm curious.
It was fine. The like Jamie, big up to him. He's always real. He said Fulham were prepared and Liverpool were a bit cocky, like they were a bit arrogant,
Mm.
going to a small team. They thought they'll just go there and get the points easily. So Jamie, he was saying, I think we were a bit arrogant. We thought that we just could get there to get the 3 points. But you know yourself, they're good lads as always. Yes, I was on Stuntman. Is it Stuntman Stebb's channel? That's Steven's channel. He's a Liverpool fan. That's the channel I was on in. So, guys, let's just get this tactical analysis. We've got our coach and specialist, Gundurolian.
I don't know if that's
You asked me to share a few things. Where would you like me to start? Or you've got things that you want to share yourself before we start off?
no,
But, guys,
you asked you said you're gonna ask me questions and I was gonna answer the
I am going to ask you questions
That's
first of all.
ask me
Let me just share what I'm going to ask you. I'll start off with this. Wait me for a minute. Uh, by the way, guys, also the guys in the comments, get involved. Get involved in the show. If you've got anything else to ask, go ahead ask. So let me just yeah, cool.
Okay. Okay. So just for well, you haven't asked the question yet, so I'll wait for the question to be asked.
No. This is not yet for me. Bear with a minute.
Okay. Yeah, we can see what you're showing, by the way. So
Yeah, so cool. So this is the heat map that was shared by Man City on the official page. But I'd like to ask you, right? Majority of the times when there's a natural fallback, a fallback is supposed to have a heat map. So for instance, let's say Kyle Walker at the right hand side, right? His heat map is supposed to show him at the right hand side, up and down. That's what bombing fallbacks do. Cancelo, same thing. As a fallback is at the left hand side. It's supposed to show the heat map way dark at this side. But we know ourselves. I will try to get that heat map where it shows a combination of Walker and Joe Cancelo. We're playing as two DMs. So they were playing as the DMs next to Rodri and Cancelo. Now, I'm going to ask you what I asked you offline so that everybody can also understand. Moyes came out of the match and said he was confused by what City were doing, where the two fullbacks were tucked in. For me, I said my solution, if I was a coach, obviously I'm not a coach, but just somebody watching from outside, watches football, why don't you tell your own wingers to stay behind these two fullbacks who've tucked in? Because there's space outside there. So why don't you tell your wingers Moyes himself, that it make stay there, and then when we get the, we'll ping the ball over, and it will take longer for Walker and Cancelo to go to you, and also I tell my striker to stay behind Rodri so that he can occupy the two defenders. Why didn't he go with such a solution, or is it just a simple? It doesn't look as simple as it is. That's all I just wanted to know.
Yeah, so I'll explain to you everything just talked, and we talked about this offline earlier today. We did a call. We talked about this. So go back to the slide that shows the formation, and I'll explain what's going on exactly. So for everybody out there, again, this is just my own opinion. I coach. I study a lot. I study a lot. Lots of. I've moved all my books away from here right now, but I think last season when I was talking to Martin, I had a lot of books. I study a lot on Pep systems. So it's thing I have, I guess. So last year we've gone to West Ham a couple of times, right? And we've drawn with them. We haven't done well. Carabao Cup, we didn't do well. Last game we were down 2-0 and we came back 2-2. We haven't done well under the new Moyes regime. That's because of the way West Ham plays. Well, West Ham tried when we go there with the false nine system, right? Last year, the year before, we would always play a 4-3-3. Would have the false nine system with Jack on the left, maybe Mahrez on the right, and then we have this rotation in the middle of a false nine, whether it's Kevin, Bernardo, or Gabriel Jesus, for example, right? And people kind of float in. Now, the way we play the false nine system, right? The key to it is that we overload where, Patrick? The wide areas. Okay? We overload the wide areas, right, in the false nine system. So we create a hole in the middle for somebody to come in and score. So it's basically overloading wide areas, create the hole in the middle, somebody comes in to score. So David Moyes had prepared for that. Again, because he hadn't seen us play with Erling Haaland, and this is going to be a problem for all Premier League teams, is that they will not know how we're going to play with Erling Haaland. People say Erling won't adapt. Well, teams that play us won't be able to adapt probably because they don't know what we're going to do. So what David Moyes had done was he said, we're going to play the same way. Remember, he didn't change the team, Patrick, right? He played the exact same team.
He did.
Exactly. And what he said was, we're going to play the same way, right? We're going to allow City to have the wide areas, right? And when City overload the wide areas, what happens to the middle of the park, Patrick, with City? It's open, right? It's open. And guess where West Ham like to attack, right? The counter attack from Bowen, from Antonio, from Rice, from Souček will always come through the middle because when City play the false nine, they overload the wide areas, leaving a big, massive hole in the middle. That's what David Moyes was expecting. So David Moyes goes into this game trying to play the same way he played us last year when we were down 2-0, going to 2-2. What Guardiola has done is that he's figured out where his weaknesses were and what he thinks West Ham are going to do, and it counteracts that. So here's what he does. He says, okay, I'm going to play you, right, with my 3-box-3 or my 2-3-3. But what I'm going to do, I know your strong space is going to be the middle of the park because I know you like to counterattack with Bowen, with Rice, with Antonio. I'm going to take my fullbacks and I'm going to invert them so narrow in that midfield. I'm going to place them right there, right? So now all of a sudden, right, Rodri only has Antonio to mark and he has cover from Ake and from Diaz, right? Now, the wide wingers from West Ham have a choice to make. To your point, do we go out wide, right, and attack Ake and Diaz?
Yeah,
Or,
why don't they occupy the side of each side of Diaz and Ake?
So if those guys, if those wingers occupy Ake and Diaz, how many players does West Ham have in the middle, and how many players does City have in the middle? West Ham will have 2. City has what? 3, or actually 4. So now it's 4v2. You overload the middle, we score a goal. So Pep has forced.
Could you say
Sorry,
that again?
that's my Siri. Pep has forced West Ham into what I call human behavior by keeping the ball with those.
Get the answer to that.
Oh, shut up, Siri. Shut up, Siri. With those.
God, keep going.
With those inverted fullbacks, because they're playing the ball and they're keeping the ball, all of a sudden, the wingers from West Ham do not know what to do. Because if they go wide, then it's what? It's going to be Cancelo, Rodri, Walker against Rice and Souček. Because guess what? The defenders can't move. They have 4, and we have 5 attackers. We have Grealish, we have Gundogan, we have Haaland, we have De Bruyne, we have Foden. So it's 4v5, right, in defensive areas. If those wingers go wide, guess what? It's going to be 3 versus 2 or 4 versus 2. We're going to kill them. So they don't know what to do. The key here is having those players, Cancelo and Walker, being able to control and pass the ball and be patient and not lose the ball. Because if those two wingers from West Ham go wide to attack Ake and Diaz, they will never smell the ball. And all we'll have to do is Cancelo's going to overload Rice and Souček. Rodri's going to be there. Walker's going to be there. And even Ake and Diaz can play man-to-man on those two. And you have the extra person of Ederson. So this system completely destroyed West Ham's complete game. And I talked about this, Patrick, with you days before this lineup came. I said that Gundogan was going to start and not Bernardo Silva. And I said the only reason why he was going to start because Gundogan knows how to play a low block and play those through passes. Bernardo is not as good as that. He doesn't know how to create those. Gundogan reminds me of the old Iniesta, where Iniesta was always good on the ball, not very quick, but he was completely controlled. And Grealish hugged the left side. Remember, Grealish and Foden were really nice, way wide, extremely wide, touching the wide area.
And Grealish yesterday was coming back a lot. He was tracking back a lot. So there's a question here for you. Yesterday was the first time I saw that we played our both four backs, obviously inverted. And have you seen another game we have done that, Karl? I don't think we have. I don't know. I don't think we have.
We saw it. We saw it in the 16-17 season with Zabaleta and Clichy, but it didn't work because they weren't ready to adopt that. We got killed by Jamie Vardy, for example, at Leicester. They weren't ready to adapt to that because we didn't have the structure and the confidence to play that system. So we've done it before. What's different now is that these guys have spent a lot of time with Pep Guardiola. They know him very well. They believe in themselves. They trust themselves. There's that rhythm that they have. They have an understanding of the game itself. They know what they need to do. Now, so Klopp does this as well too, right? But Klopp's own is different, Patrick, right? So we're playing a 3-box-3, right? You have Cancelo, you have Ake, Diaz, you have Rodri as a 3. We have a box, right, Patrick? We have a box, Cancelo, Walker, Gundogan, and De Bruyne. You see that box right there? Right? And then we have the 3 of Grealish, Haaland, and Foden. That 3-box-3. What Liverpool do is that you have, what's his name? Van Dijk and Konate, or Van Dijk and Matip, right? You have Thiago and Henderson and Fabinho making the 3 midfield. But the difference here is that Trent and Robertson join the front 3 to make the 5. We have Gundogan and De Bruyne joining the front 3 to make the 5. You see that 1, 2, 3, 4 up front, they're 5. With Liverpool, it's the fullbacks that go forward to join the 3, making a 5, while their midfielders, Thiago and Henderson, tuck into Fabinho to make the 3, to win the ball back there and give it to them. We invert our fullbacks, they exvert, if you would, their own fullbacks. So again, to Charlie's point, good question, Charlie. It's been done before. We may see it again, but this was tactically, Pep just completely tactically out-tacticked David Moyes. Completely took him off. The heat map is very clear. Look at that heat map. That's Walker on the right. You know the funny thing, Patrick, is if you look at the heat maps for Gundogan and Kevin De Bruyne, they're nowhere near the halfway circle. Their heat maps are way up near Haaland, near Foden, and near Grealish. Because
do you think this was do you think this I'll go to the comments in a few minutes, guys. Do you think this was done so that Gundogan and De Bruyne are closer to Haaland so that they don't have to concern themselves with defending? Because obviously we know West Ham are very strong midfield with Declan Rice and everyone in that midfield. They're very strong at winning the ball. They're very strong. They try to dominate other teams, but it's always counter to them. So last year we were countered the hell out, and obviously we had Fernandinho in midfield. So do you think that this was also done to have them closer to Haaland so that they can be able to ping the balls? Because I did see a lot of times where Gundogan and De Bruyne had the opportunity to put Haaland through. Obviously they didn't take it, but to be honest with you, I don't know. I watched the game again.
Yeah.
I was confused of what's going on. I was confused. I still didn't get it. I didn't get what was going on. But whatever worked, it let us keep the possession of the ball. Because West Ham we had 85%, and West Ham at a point in time we had 85%, and I was like, my God, that's
So to the answer to your question is, in my opinion, that's part of the answer. Is that yes, they wanted them to be closer to Erling Haaland. But the other answer to the question is that they did it because they wanted to nullify the strengths of West Ham. Sometimes as a coach, you want to nullify your opponent's strengths. How do I count? Because if I can nullify your strength, I make you completely useless. Completely useless. So I talk about I coach for under 14 kids. We play a 4-3-3. So what I've done with my team last year, and we won at the league. We scored like I think 35 goals in like 8 games, conceded only 1 goal, and that was from a corner. Completely beat the league. Is that I ask my fullbacks with my kids, right, to invert into midfield. Now I don't do the double inversion. That's just Pep, right? But
That's
what
what I'm no, like that's the thing. Sorry for cutting me there. Like everybody does it. When Walker tucks in, Cancelo is always wide, or makes a back three with the rest of the defenders.
Correct.
When Cancelo tucks in, Walker is the one who makes the back three with other defenders.
Right.
Even though, like I was expecting, okay, if these two tuck in, or in one of the whatever way, Rodri would drop back a bit, but it was flat. Rodri and them were flat. Like I've never seen it before too. Like this, I don't blame Moyes. Like I've never seen it before. And for a guy like Moyes with experience to say we had no answer for it at second half, I don't know. I didn't know what to do. Like,
well, it's because Patrick, what Pep was doing, in my opinion, was that he was saying, "I'm going to smother you so much in your area of strength. I'm going to make you so completely useless that you will not be able to get the ball. And when we do lose the ball, we have the numbers in there to win it back quickly. With Cancelo, with Walker, with Rodri. And if the ball comes over, I know Ake, I know Diaz can recover to get the ball. And worst case scenario, if it gets really bad, I know Grealish and Foden can track back. But I'm always going to have the threat of Erling Haaland, the Gundogan, and De Bruyne to try to get you. Now, what Pep has done, this guy is a genius. Nobody can chat nothing to me about Tuchel, about Klopp, nothing, right? He uses both Gundogan and De Bruyne to do 2 different things. He says, when you're playing a low block West Ham, I'm going to use Gundogan to pick the lock, right? And the goal that Erling Haaland gets from the penalty was through what? West Ham playing a low block, Gundogan finding that pass in the defensive third of West Ham and picks the lock and gets a penalty. Now, when West Ham were not pressing high, Patrick, guess who gives the assist for that? Kevin De Bruyne. Why? Because Kevin can do that quarterback pass through the midfield from his own half.
Can you maybe explain? Would you like to if you can explain that first goal by Haaland,
Okay.
the first goal by
So-
Haaland. I'm not the second. Obviously, this is the second one, but I'm talking about that first one, the one where the my bad. There we go. The one where, because first of all, there was those 2 movements we've seen. The first one is when you're playing the high line. Obviously, teams like Liverpool that play high line, Haaland can make those runs. He made those runs, as I said, during Community Shield, but nobody could find him. He also made those runs yesterday. But what I was amazed, and City fans, something also which amazed me, I think I was saying, Karl, is I never thought Haaland can start off speed like that within a short distance.
Yeah. Patrick, you know the funny thing about that second goal, I'll just go to second first of all, is this Haaland's starting position when Kevin passes the ball.
Jenna started with Jack, because that move started with Jack. Jenna started.
So the whole move starts with Jack, right? So actually the whole move starts with Edison. I believe it with Edison, right? Edison gets the ball. This is Guardiola football, right? This is going back to 17th, 18th century. Edison has the ball. Edison gives it to Ake. Okay, Ake drifts the ball out wide. Ake is attracting West Ham players to press him because we're in a defensive third, right? Ake gives the ball to Jack on the left-hand side. Then Ake moves to the left-back position because it's positional play, because he knows Jack is going to occupy the space that he's in. Jack takes the ball, drags 2 players with him. Guess who drops into the hole to receive the ball? Rodri. Jack turns the ball, passes to Rodri. Now the whole field, from that one play between Ake and Jack, the whole field opens up because look, West Ham have pressed up high. One pass to De Bruyne, and now Haaland, his starting position, Patrick, is about 5 yards behind the defender. So the defenders are here. Haaland is 5 yards behind. When De Bruyne passes that ball, Haaland is so quick that he blows past the defender who has 5 yards on him onto the ball before the goalkeeper scores a goal. Now, if I'm in Liverpool, if I'm Van Dijk and I'm Klopp, right, I'm saying, my God, if this guy, we play a high line with this guy in a regular game, not Community Shield rubbish, but a proper game, and we play a high line, and De Bruyne is on form, and De Bruyne passes that ball, we're screwed. Because this guy will get in behind you. And if I'm Burnley, for example, and we not Burnley, the old Burnley, right? Not with company, and I play a low block, I know Haaland has a speed with that through pass to get in behind us, even with the pass from Gundogan, which was even heavy. So it's a massive problem tactically for coaches to try to figure out. I mean, I'm thinking about Koulibaly or what's his name or Thiago Silva trying to play a high line versus this guy here. I mean, they're gonna get killed. They will get killed, Patrick. So for me, the 2-3-5 system was about what we play with the box in the middle, where we try to smother West Ham's strengths of trying to counter-attack us through the middle, because Moyes expected us to play in the wide areas. And when you have that inverted winger with Foden and Grealish, they always try to keep the width wide and nullify also their own wingers as well. Go ahead, Patrick.
So this is the one you're talking about. This is the ball, and just look at his movement. Unfortunately, we cannot show footage, but let me just read some of these comments, because I think I'm a bit behind on comments. Let me see, where do we stay? Amazing. No. Yeah. So Martin is asking, how you doing, Martin? Is anyone else getting paved off with Bernardo and the agent, or just me? Well, what's your thought on Bernardo, Karl? I know this is just us getting away from what we're saying, but what's your thought on Bernardo and his agent? We'll speak at that at the end, isn't it? We'll speak about Bernardo. We're going to speak about it at the end.
Martin, I have the notes here, so don't worry.
Man, Charlie, in Pep's first season, those 10 games winning run at the start of the season, he did that. Karl Pansanya, 2016-17. Okay, wow. It was amazing how tactical adjusted we was, adapting to a different system. Yeah, obviously they've been practicing it for a while. All right, Emmanuel. Abu, hi. I didn't notice. Okay, I did see. So Big Morgan says, tell Bernardo to watch the door. Tell Bernardo to watch the door doesn't hit his ass on the way out. Cheerio, ungrateful man. We'll talk about that at the end. I have a question. What would be the main ask of Rodri when City is in the opponent's final third?
Let me answer that question. So when City in the opponent said, Rodri's main task for me is two things. When we lose the ball, get the ball quickly and then recycle. And also, if there's a loose ball, just like he did against Villa when he scored that goal, take the shot and score the goal. Right? So his role as a number 6 is to do two things. Win the ball back, recycle the ball, and the third thing is, if there's a chance at goal, take the shot, just like we did against Villa. Remember the Villa goal, Patrick, was the ball came from Zinchenko to that middle portion, and guess who was there to finish the ball? Right on the spot was Rodri. So that's his role, Vader, in my opinion, in the opponent's final third.
He usually gets covered by Walker, doesn't he? When Rodri pushes, sometimes Walker tries to tuck in or stay in between the fullback area and the middle, so in case we get countered. So I hope that answers your question. So another thing was that in the 2-2 game last season, our wingers were embedded and tucked in. This game, our wingers were very wide and our fullbacks were embedded. So obviously that's okay. Yeah. So it stopped Bowen. Yeah, Bowen was very dangerous in the last game,
Exactly.
and they were actually dangerous in the first minutes. We did the tucking in when after West Ham gave us a bit of a 5-minute. They came in a wave for 5 minutes, and we did the embedded wingers. Okay. Yeah, it was revolutionary until he lost to Spurs. I think he figured out our fullbacks weren't good enough. Yeah. Okay, so I think Rodri was top notch yesterday, 9 out of 10. We're going to talk about him in a few minutes also. Yeah. We kept the ball most of the game as well. I think 20 minutes in, we was at 85% possession. Showed that Pep was worried of West Ham's counter-attack. Yeah, he was. Yeah. How you doing, Adam? How you doing? Big up to you, Adam. Big up to you. Spot on. Why Gundo played? Yeah, that's why Karl, I think, was looking for Gundo to play. Question though, after watching the game twice again today, did that formation and tactic then stop KDB full flow? What do you think?
I think the first 60 minutes, I don't think KDB was himself. I think that it was Gundogan that was the one who was the main protagonist. That's why you see that the heat map from Cancelo was a little more on that left side than it was from Walker. I don't think KDB was in the rhythm. I think he kept losing the ball. And that's KDB, right? It takes time for him to get the full flow. But when it comes to spacing behind, there is nobody in the Premier League better. In fact, there's nobody in world football at this point in time. I challenge anybody to tell me one player in world football who delivers a better ball than De Bruyne through the lines, through the pockets. There's nobody. In fact, Pep said in his press conference afterwards that once the game opens up and the spacing behind, that once De Bruyne passes the ball, nobody can stop it. He said nobody can stop it. Look at this here, Patrick, for example. We're looking at this here, right? Look at Erling Haaland. He's about 5 yards behind the two center backs. But look at the number 3 of West Ham. The number 3 of West Ham is another 2 or 3 yards ahead, right, covering the space behind of Erling Haaland. The ball from De Bruyne comes in between number 3 and that fullback. And Erling Haaland still has the speed to overtake the center backs and the fullback and his own player on the right, who is Foden. Don't forget, Foden's right there. He overtakes all of them to get onto the ball and beat the keeper with that one touch, one goal. How do you defend that?
It's something that we've been struggling for a while. We remember Jesus was 1v1 in the FA Cup against Liverpool, and he missed such an opportunity. He decided to chip it, and he still couldn't chip it or something. Let me just read this. Plus, Rodri was isolated last season, showed his weakness, but yesterday he had support. He's been good, yeah, you're right about that, but he's also been good sometimes. Well explained. Keep talking to us, Karl, through this brilliant knowledge of the game. Yeah, Karl is top notch. That's why I said we will have to do this show. Only Pep can play Walker in midfield. Yeah, only. Will this be a consistent approach versus low to mid blocks?
It depends on it. I think it depends on the team. Like next week we'll watch Bournemouth. Bournemouth like to play a little more open. They may try to sit back because they're worried about getting hammered. It depends on the team. Pep will adapt based on the team. That's why I like the manager. That's why every single time we wait for a lineup, we don't actually know what the lineup is going to be because it depends on the opposition, depends on what happens in practice. He gets to make the pick because he knows what he's planned for each game. Which is why for me, Vader, and for the guys out there, I beg City fans, I know that I don't have all the answers. I don't know. And Martin has been teaching me that, I need to chill out. And I get that. I'm learning that, right? But I beg every one of us to just invest time in studying what this man is doing because he won't be with us forever. And this is an education for all of us about the game that we love so much. We're learning new things about the game. Let's not even just focus on the rivalry and the nonsense talk. Even if you're a rival fan, study this stuff because it's new. It's like, wow, we didn't know the game could be played like this. That's my own joy in watching this team play more than anything else.
Big up to Karl. Guys, you're watching, please like the vid. Big up to Karl. Karl is here taking his time, enjoying talking the tactics. It worked so well because West Ham didn't commit players to try and win the ball back. They were conservative. That's what they do. That's what they conserve themselves and counter you. That's what they do all the time.
Patrick, to Vader's point, they couldn't do that though. You know why? Because we had overloads in the midfield, right? So you have Rodri, Cancelo, Walker, De Bruyne, and Gundogan. That's a 5 versus their 3. There's just no way. And they can't leave Grealish alone. They can't leave Phil alone because Moyes has instructed them to double up on the wide areas, right? So when the ball goes out to Grealish or Phil, what West Ham like to do is double up on them. And when you double up on them, you create space in the middle. And guess how many people have in the middle? We have 5 in the middle. So they were confused. They didn't know what to do. Do we go to the middle? Do we go out wide? Do we go press side? Do we go back? What do we do? No idea. Because the quality of the players, Cancelo and Walker, Rodri, Bernardo, and Gundogan, KDB and Gundogan, to keep the ball in the middle, that 5, that quintet that rotates, know what they're doing, is so dominant that they just pass them to death. 84% possession against West Ham, semi-final in the Europa League, top 6 in the Premier League or top 7 in the Premier League. It's away. First game of the season away.
Yeah, so now going away from the tactics, how do you think we're going to use this man? Because it looks like even if you do a low block, he can still run. He can still make a run. Like that's the first pen. He can still make a run. And even if you do a high line, like what Liverpool do and other teams, he can run behind you. And his runs are so difficult to track because it's as if he was about to run this side, right? And you thought the ball is going to go this side. Well, he went this side.
Patrick, I go back to the Bayern Munich game. Okay, let's take 1 second for a minute. The Bayern Munich game, the goal he scored, when Jack had the ball out wide, did you know that Ake was in front of Erling Haaland? Erling was behind Nathan Ake when Jack had the ball. But somehow, within a split second, guess who got the ball first? Erling Haaland. This guy is fast, man. I believe last year in the Bundesliga, he clocked the fastest speed in the Bundesliga for a sprint, more than Alphonso Davies, that everybody raves about, more than Leroy Sané, that we think is quick. This guy is a specimen. And how do you play against him? I don't know, Patrick. How do you put a defender on him? Well, guess what? If you put a defender on him, guess what he's going to do? Like he did yesterday. He's going to drop into the hole and receive the ball from De Bruyne, which is what he did. So the defender follows him. Guess what? He makes space for Phil. He makes space for Grealish. He makes space for Gundogan to run in. So he can play the false nine as well by dropping in. People said, oh, Kane can do the drop in, Haaland can drop in. All the others said, no. Every single time, this guy dropped into the hole to receive the ball, and he did not make an incomplete pass. Every pass that he touched yesterday was 100% complete, Patrick.
And did you see that touch? Well, obviously the time when we scored, where he held the defender back, held the ball, then did a dink for sort of a small pass to Gundogan, and obviously De Bruyne scored, but it was offside. But all that was amazing. And as Pep said after the game, we know he can pass. We're just trying to make him a better footballer. I think you guys are going to see a different type of Haaland after Pep is done. Let me just read this. Also, that formation helped Cancelo look at Also, that formation helped Cancelo look at the support he had compared to CS. Yeah, so I want to see Alvarez do the damage he did in South America. Yeah, Alvarez will do his best very soon. And you know that shot he shot, that was going on goal. That was going on goal. It's just that Zuma blocked it. Haaland just had one touch after that pass by De Bruyne, and that was a finish. That's how perfect that pass was. That pass, the weight of that pass. Come on, the weight of that pass.
Daniel, watch it again. I wish you could zoom in, right? When the ball's passed in from De Bruyne, the touch on the ball is still in the air. The ball, when he passes the ball into the goal, the ball is in the air. It literally hits the net. That's the first time it touches the ground. His technique, the way he opens up his body and then smack, one touch goal from literally outside the box, and the keeper is right there, so the angle is narrow.
And he knows that that's my strong foot, because he can do both feet, but he knows the left is my strong. And the way, you're right, the way he opened, and you know what, he didn't like, you know how that people would say hit it away from the keeper. Do you know it went down the middle? He's sort of went round to the keeper, close to the keeper, but down the middle, like where it won't miss and hit the post. Because most times some players try to hit it far away or dink it over. Like, my God, guys. And the sound on the net after that and the run.
Do you remember, Patrick, the goal he scored against Paris Saint-Germain at Dortmund? One that when the post was shaking. Remember that goal? Remember that? Every time I watch that goal, I'm like, my God, how do you stop that?
And that pen was good. That pen was precise, far away from the keeper, precise. Cancelo was West Ham's most dangerous player. Come on, he did well. He did well. What's your thoughts on playing 4-4-2, Haaland and Alvarez up front against smaller teams? What's your thought on that, Karl?
I think we do play 4-4-2, but we played as a defensive shape. So you noticed yesterday that when we were under attack, right, it was Haaland and De Bruyne, or Haaland and Foden. So we do play a 4-4-2 when we're defending, when we don't have the ball and teams trying to pressure us. I can see them play that, right, during games where we don't have the ball, we're under pressure, maybe against Liverpool, maybe against Paris or Real Madrid. You will see that Haaland and De Bruyne, or Haaland and Foden, or Haaland and Mahrez play a 4-4-2 defensively, but offensively, I don't see it, Abdul.
Did you notice also during the game, Haaland and De Bruyne were the ones pressing. De Bruyne was like the second striker.
Exactly.
So Martin, that time when you were saying maybe took away from De Bruyne's game, I think he was told to be the second striker. But when we're doing counters, obviously De Bruyne, as Karl says, he has to be the wing back, so he had to come back. But guys, can we also talk about Jack, the way he went back and took the ball and then beat the press? Because if Jack did not beat the press, we are not scoring that. And the way Rodri received the ball, so De Bruyne almost halfway line with that, the weight of the pass. Oh my God,
Patrick, I want everybody out there in YouTube land, Twitter land, to just think about. Imagine that second goal yesterday was against Real Madrid, semi-final of Champions League, right? Madrid will press up high, right? But because Jack can keep the ball, like most people can't.
Please explain Jack, because
I'm explaining,
Martin is
I'm
right.
explaining
A lot of people all are still thinking Jack is
the
not
reason why
doing well.
people have an agenda against Jack is because of the £100 million price tag. That's the reason why. Okay, that's the reason why. But if you watch what Jack does, Martin, Jack is playing to instruction. He's saying the manager has told me to do X. I'm not doing anything else. I don't care what you say. I'm doing exactly what the manager says. Which is why when Pep, after the game, Pep said that goal belongs to who? What did he say? The goal belongs to Jack Grealish. Because without Jack creating the pocket of space that we needed, that goal does not happen.
Hello, what do you? Go ahead.
That goal doesn't, because what Jack takes that ball on the left-hand side, and because he can able to hold the ball and come back into our defensive third, he pulls three West Ham players with him, which creates space for Rodri and Kevin De Bruyne. Without that role, space doesn't open up for those two players to pass the ball through, and Haaland gets behind, kills the game. But when Haaland scores a goal, Jack was still in our defensive third because he had done that job. It was Cancelo that was bombing forward in Jack's place. So this agenda against Jack needs to stop, guys.
He
He's one of
he
our
was look, what he was doing at Villa, guys. At Villa, he was the main guy. He's the one who had to create. He had to do this and that. Here, the reason why Jack was bought was he can keep the ball. He can retain the ball. Obviously, you haven't seen like there was a run he did where somebody was like put the ball over and he pushed it in front and he was going at the West Ham fullback. Like his time will come. Like he's playing well. Like I gave him a 7. I think that game was 7 out of 10. But the thing is, people are still going after him.
the
Like,
problem, Patrick, is
give him
that
time, guys. Yeah.
people want Jack to be like Alan Saint-Maximin, right?
No, that you know what they want? They want goals and assists. I think
No, no,
that's
no,
it.
no. They
Yeah.
want they want him to be like Alan Saint-Maximin. Run, headless chicken, try and go to goal by yourself, be selfish. Now, imagine Jack Grealish coming to City for the first time. You got De Bruyne, you got Bernardo, you got Gundogan, you got all these big boys who are there. They won Premier League titles for 3 times. You now come in as Jack Grealish, big £100 million pound man. You're the big boy. You come in and you start to dribble and you lose the ball. What's going to happen to you in the dressing room? They'll tell you, man, what are you doing? Calm down. Follow the instructions. He has to earn his trust, the trust of his teammates. He can't just go by himself and run and do what he wants to do. He will get killed by his teammates. He loses respect. The fact that he's playing to the coach's instructions and team instructions builds him credibility with the team, which is why Pep came out yesterday in a press conference and said, without Jack's role, that second goal does not happen. Without Jack's role, the goal against Bayern Munich doesn't happen. So let's just give Grealish the flowers he deserves, man. He's one of ours. He's one of ours. He's not going away. The club's not going to sell him, guys. The club ain't going to sell him. He's one of ours.
Yeah, guys. So guys, now obviously the tactics have been explained. If you've got any more questions for Karl, please put them in the comments later on. But now let's go over to your favorite topic, Karl. Obviously we've got a few minutes. We can just do a few minutes, so we can keep this at 45. So Bernardo Silva, as Martin says, that are people not tired of Bernardo Silva? I've seen a lot of City fans have started tweeting saying enough is enough. If you want to go, you can go. I don't blame anybody. Guys, some of you guys are going after others saying, oh, don't say that. He's a dedicated player. Look, I think you should understand. Whatever we're saying is not the fact that we are saying Bernardo is not dedicated or he's not a good player. He doesn't give 100% on the pitch. The issue with Bernardo Silva is he wants to go. It seems like it's black and white now that he wants to go. It's either his agent or himself. But the thing is, I believe that if somebody wants to stay at a place, you can't be hearing such rumors. Because if I were me, right, and I'm at a job, I would tell somebody that straightforward, come off camera, do an interview and say, I'm here to stay at City, I'm loyal to City, and I'll extend my contract to City. But people are like, oh, he's keeping silent. Why is he being blamed for this? Even Pep can't deny it in the press that Bernardo wants to go. Like, that's how deep it is. So, Karl, take it away.
I mean, I still don't think he's going to go. I still think he's going to stay. I'm hopeful. Now I'm hopeful. But the reality is, for me, is, you know, how much is, I mean, his salary is £150,000 a week. So, I mean,
yeah, it is.
For a world-class player, is that really, I mean, shouldn't he be at least on 200, 250, maybe 3? You know, that's another issue again. You know, maybe it's the agent moving for a better contract. to resign and give him a better contract? I don't know. But I will say this, that if we're going to sell Bernardo Silva to FC Barcelona, we have to get Frankie de Jong. If we're going to get Bernardo Silva, if they're going to sell him to Barcelona, we have to make sure we get Frankie de Jong. And I tweeted you, I sent you a text message of Patrick how we can do this deal for Frankie de Jong. It's very simple. It's not hard.
Go ahead, explain to the people.
If you take away the pride and the fact that, we're ex-Barcelona people, we don't want to interfere, take away all the bullshit and all the emotion. It's very simple, right? Frankie de Jong, United want to buy him for 71 million pounds. That's what they're saying they want to buy him for. Okay? Frankie's saying, I ain't going to Man United. I don't care. I'm not playing Europa League football. I'm not going to Man United. He doesn't want to go. And by the way, you owe me 14 million pounds. Okay? I'm saying City, okay, offer Barcelona 64 million pounds, right? Offer them 64 million pounds instead of 71 million, right? The 14 million that you owe Frankie de Jong, we will pay 7, you write off 7. So that's 71 million pounds. All you have to now pay is 64. We pay 64, right? The wages of Frankie de Jong, which is 30 million pounds a year, is off your books. You don't have to pay that, right? We get FDJ, we pay him 350,000 pounds a week, right? We sell Bernardo, right, for 70 million, right? The difference between Bernardo's sale and Frankie's sale is what? 6 million. That's his wages for the next 2 years or 2.5 years. Everybody's happy. Yes, Frankie loses some salary based on what he had before, but at least he's in the Champions League. He's in a club that he loves that can get him to win things. Barcelona gets Bernardo Silva. They take the wage off his bill, and we get a classic, technical, world-class midfielder on our books. But again, it's all emotion of Pep and Chiqui and all these guys, Barcelona guys. They want to upset the apple cart. But for me, if Barcelona want to get rid of Frankie de Jong and they want Bernardo Silva, make them a deal. Call out all the three parties. Let's structure it. Structure the transaction. You want Bernardo Silva? Yeah, we'll give Bernardo Silva. Pay 70. We'll take Frankie for 64, right? Frankie gets off your wage bill. You can pay Bernardo 200. That's reduced from 500. We take Frankie. We take the 6 million profit from Bernardo's sale, and we use it to pay Frankie's salary over the next 2.5 years. Everybody's happy. So for me, it's I don't want him to go to Chelsea for 2 reasons. Number one, Tuchel will kill him. Not with that terrorist football. I'm sorry. I know, right? Not with that terrorist football. What's he going to do? Play 3-5-2? Nah. Frankie deserves to play possession-based 4-3-3 football, not 3-5-2 with wing backs. What's he going to do with that? That's not what he played at Ajax, not what he played at Barcelona. What he can do that?
It won't suit him. Karl, you're right. I don't know. I don't even know why UEFA are allowing Barcelona back. They are still part of the Super League, and it's quite interesting to see that the ones who are accusing us. You're right about that, Martin. That there are those accusing us. I'm gonna just take one question, guys. Sorry, I read some of the comments, but these days the comments, there's a lot of them. And Daniel told me that I don't have to read every comment. So these days I want to be reading. I'm just picking a few comments. So my bad.
Super chat's gonna come.
Yeah. You know what? We're gonna be shameless. A super chat because I'm doing a charity thing. Send a super chat. We'll read the question because there's a lot of comments these days. Before, when we started off, we used to have like few comments, but now it's going to almost 100 comments, and I try my best to read them, guys. But if you want the comment to be read from now on, I think do a super chat because my charity needs funding. So there's a question here. What's your thought on this player? Is it Paqueta? What are your thoughts on Paqueta?
You give me a bricklayer and give him to Pep. Pep will make him a genius. I don't care. I so trust this manager so much that whoever we bring in is going to cook. Think about Zinchenko. Zinchenko was in Netherlands doing what? Came here and got to the Champions League final, won 3 Premier League titles. Look at Leroy Sané. Leroy has never been the same since he left. He's never been the same, Patrick. And now they're saying he wants to go to United. Imagine that. Leroy under Pep in 17-18 was the world's best winger, left winger. Nobody could compare with him. Nobody. Even Salah couldn't compare with Leroy when he was there. He was the best winger. Sterling could not smoke Leroy. Now look at him. Look at Aguero. Aguero changed his game to fit in Pep's system. Look at where he is today. Look at De Bruyne. De Bruyne was, even Sterling was so good under Pep. Pep changed him from what Pellegrini had, right? Pellegrini was frustrated with Sterling. Sterling became this world-class winger on the right-hand side playing. Watch him at Chelsea right now. What's going to happen to him? Just watch.
Yeah, so look, Paqueta, I haven't seen much of him, guys. Abdul, I'm not gonna say much on. I haven't seen much of him. I haven't
He's a
watched
good
much
guy.
of him. But
He's a good
apparently, he's a baller. People are saying he's like Kevin De Bruyne. He can see a pass. If we get him, and if that's the guy that I've identified, that would be great. Guys, like the vid, like the vid, like the vid. There's about 30 to 28 of you like the vid, like the vid. People watching on Twitter, come to YouTube and like the video. Big up to you, Michael. Big up to you. Sana's girlfriend wanted Bayern. Now Bernardo's girlfriend wants Barcelona. Sana's girlfriend actually wanted to stay. Sana's girlfriend actually supports Man City. She wanted to stay.
his mom, right?
So guys, if there is no other question to ask,
Let's read the comments. Let's read the comments. Let's read the comments. I mean, give this
okay,
guy.
let me read the comments. My eyes are starting to burn now because of the light. So you are going to read the comments since you are so eager. There you go.
Can't wait to face Liverpool again. Haaland and Katie will click more than ever with Liverpool highlights. If they're not careful, Haaland will drop a hat-trick. That's true because I think the problem with the first Community Shield was one of rhythm and confidence. Rhythm and confidence. And when you don't have confidence against Liverpool, they'll beat you. When you have confidence against Liverpool, look at Fulham. Why did Fulham get the point? One reason and one reason only, Patrick. They believed in themselves that day. They believed that they could get something. When you're playing Liverpool, if you don't have belief in yourself, you will get killed. You have to believe it. And I believe that they will when they play them.
Yeah, there's a comment here. There's a comment by Daniel.
Yeah, Daniel
There's
says,
2 years for that Norwegian Viking. Sterling and Jesus would have missed that chance. That's what I said also myself.
well,
Katuta says, we read this comment, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, to Daniel's point, imagine that Sterling was through on goal yesterday. I mean, he may have scored, but Charlie says the way Haaland opens up his body was unbelievable. I could see that going. Yeah, we all saw that going from a mile, mate. We just once he opened up his body, it was 1v1. We're like, oh gosh, this is a goal, and well.
Yeah, here is Michael. Big up to you. He donated €5 last time for the charity. Now he's donating €2. Big up to you. He says for the charity, big up to you. And all the Haaland haters are quiet. They're quiet. I saw a video Michael did on his channel. He did a video. He's always been consistent. Mike has always said Haaland is going to do something. He was never one of the people. So here's another comment here. It's all about Jack's fee purely. Jack at Villa isn't the Jack we have. He's trying to make him a team player. He was the only guy at Villa. That's the thing. He was very relied upon at Villa. That's why they could play him when he's injured.
Let's not forget that. I mean, Martin's point, right? City are changing now. We have now characters in our team. Jack is a character, like him or not, right? He's not flamboyant in a bad way, but he speaks his mind. He looks good. He's English. He has the swag. Erling Haaland yesterday, man, and he just sucked up all the oxygen. I mean, completely sucked up all the oxygen in the whole room. He has character. He has swag. He has confidence. Not arrogance, but he has confidence. We haven't had those before in the City team, right? We've always had boys who are kind of, under the cover, who kind of do what they need to do. Maybe De Bruyne was kind of like that, but he's kind of chilled. These two boys, are the kind of big personality you need to be confident and go into Champions League.
That's actually true. That's actually true. People are obsessed with GA. We won the game. That's the most important thing. And Jack contributed to the goal and the win. That's true. McLavin says, have you guys spoken about how our wingers played more like wide midfielders rather than high wingers? I found that so refreshing. Grealish and Foden were in charge of the whole flank. Yeah. The FBs inside, the four backs inside, obviously.
Yeah, and McLovin, a good example of that, McLovin, was when Jack had the ball in our defensive third and behaved like a midfielder and passed the ball to Rodri. That's a classic example of what you're talking about there, where Jack's role changed from a wide winger to an inverted midfielder or a midfielder to give the ball to Rodri and leave it to Kevin to go play. That's an example of that, McLovin.
Okay, at Villa, he can have a bad game and no one would lift an eyelid. At City, your performance will go under the microscope. That's actually true. That's actually true. No loyalty in football. I think you're talking about Bernardo. Hope and pray Bernardo Barcelona go bust. Yeah, I don't know. It's not looking good. I think that we already read that. Okay, FDJ won't like that. I think you're talking about
FDJ. So go back to that comment real quick. So I hear this, right, for Centurion, but the problem with FDJ right now is that he can't go back to Barcelona. Not after they want to file a lawsuit. They want to file a lawsuit against their own player, right, and ask him to pay back the money from 2019 till now. How do you go back to that kind of club? So there's no going back. And I expected this. I expected Barcelona to do this. This is what they do to get the player out. The question now is that can we rescue FDJ from this craziness? And if Bernardo wants to go the other way, let's strike a deal with Barcelona to bring FDJ here. Bernardo goes, we do the financial transaction. Everybody's happy. Player gets to play with Pep Guardiola, plays in a winning team. He gets good money. 300K a week is not bad. Gets a 5-year contract. He has a life. He has a future. Doesn't go to United. And I don't want to go to Chelsea for crying out loud. To go. Okay.
Yeah, let me answer this. Abdul, what do you think we're still lacking in the CL? I can't believe we haven't won it till now. What we're lacking in the CL, I can give you a simple answer. Killers. We're lacking killers. We didn't have killers at all. We didn't have people who could kill the game. We had people who, when there's an open goal, they would miss. I'm not going to mention names. We had people who, when they're given the chance to score, they're busy hitting the post or trying to pass instead of scoring. I can give you a small example, and I don't want to say anything bad on Gundogan. There was a 1-2, a beautiful 1-2 between Gundogan and Haaland. Now, our players have to start being too selfish sometimes and hungry. Haaland is a striker, but he gave it to Gundogan, and all Gundogan had to do is shoot. Gundogan decided to say, no, I'd rather give it back to Haaland, and then the defender blocked it. I get it. I get what Gundogan was trying to do, because Haaland was on one goal. He was trying to get maybe Haaland a second goal to say at least the striker, but shoot. And Gundogan is ruthless most of the times, but some of those decisions are the ones that have to come out of their mind. And now, Karl is right. People like Alvarez coming into the team who are selfish sometimes is good. Like Alvarez who could have passed that ball, but he saw an opportunity to shoot, because guess what West Ham are doing? Still going back. Every time players go back, our team decides to pass. In the past, there used to be opportunities to shoot outside the box. Nobody does it. But look at Alvarez and Haaland. They're going to bring that. I think that's going to help us in the Champions League. Players who are able to just be selfish sometimes, and players who are able to finish and be clinical. That's what's kill us.
I mean, I cannot wait for his Champions League debut. I just cannot wait, because if you think this guy's an animal right now, oh my God, wait till you hear the Champions. This guy's ringtone to wake up in the morning, Patrick, is a Champions League anthem. I mean, you think he's mad now? Ooh, you wait, man.
Yeah, that Roy guy from Chelsea, don't listen to him. I'm done with him. He was speaking nonsense. Even Chelsea fans have said he's on his own. Always rated Haaland since he was at Modi. The guy's off the ball movement is world class and unstoppable at times. That's true. 24th of August, I hope we destroy them. And even though it's a charity game, what's that? Oh yeah, Barcelona.
I don't want to screw them. I mean, if we have Frankie De Jong by then, fine. I don't know.
Yeah, not a lot of movement on the left back. No news on anyone else buying a left back to replace anyone.
So one trick is Martin, is that when City are quiet, something is cooking. When you don't hear news about left back or something is cooking in the background. Remember the Haaland news? It went quiet for a long time. Even though Martin had predicted it, we had talked about it. It went quiet, and all of a sudden, boom, it came out. So when it's quiet like this, they're cooking something in it. So
yeah, for me, that was Centurions. Roy Jennings is just doing it now. He's just doing it to get attention, because he did a video and he was failing to explain why Haaland is going to be a flop. For me, if Haaland scores 15 goals, that's amazing. I think that's a success. Both Haaland and Nunes are going to score goals. They're going to score.
What this clown has done, Rory, is that now he's low. He said it's going to be a flop. Now he says it's going to be a flop with 15 goals. Yeah. You see what he's doing? Yeah. All right. You see what he's done? He now said Haaland will be a flop with 15 goals. How many goals did Raheem Sterling score last year?
13. 13. Yeah. Okay, guys. So that's everything from us, guys. Thank you very much for being here with us, everybody in the comments. Gundo, as always, a pleasure for you. We'll be doing a lot of this tactical analysis. Win or lose, we'll be doing the tactical analysis after the game has been watched, because I think we always want to listen to what our manager is doing. So who better than Gundo, who's got a coaching badge and who's a manager? Because don't be modest, Gundo. The way you explain things, it makes it easier for others to understand. Guys, like the vid, guys. And if you're new, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to Pitch Points, but like the vid, guys. Liking the vid helps with the algorithms on YouTube. It gets your video shown out there, so we can have a bigger family on the True City Fan channel, where opinions matter. Guys, if any of you want to jump on, anybody, I'm inviting anyone. If you want to jump on, to come on and discuss with us on tactics or previews, lineup reactions, please DM me or Gundorodian on Twitter. We'll be able to get you on board so you can also come here and speak to us. We are here for the fans. We are all fans. We are not professionals. Yes, we do a lot of studying of these things. We do a lot of studying of the transfers, but we're not professionals. Guys, for the guys who wants to see the full tactic video, for the guys who are coming in late like SSP, go back to the beginning of the video. You'll be able to see the tactics that were nicely explained by Gundo. So guys, that's everything from us. I don't know if you have anything better to say, Gundo.
Now, guys, get Patrick to 2,000. There's so many City fans who are out there. Martin, Veta, so many fans who have their channels out there who are doing great work. I love doing this stuff, man. I subscribe to my channel. Yeah, that's fine. But I just love talking to City fans out there because we need to back our own. We need to support ourselves. We're not the oldest or the most, glamorous club in the whole world, but we have some fantastic owners. We have the world's best manager, and we have Erling Haaland. You're on mute, man. You're on mute.
They are the glasses, SSB. They are the glasses. Big up to you, man. Big up to everybody. Martin, big up to you. Please go subscribe to Martin's channel, Veda's channel, everybody's channel. All the guys, as you said, as City fans, we have to support each other. As always, I said, you guys are invited whenever you want to come on and speak to us. Whenever you want to come on and or even suggest a video or what sort of any game you want us to review, we'll be able to review it. So thank you very much. Appreciate it, guys. Until next time. All I can say is